Snipers, you have to see what's happening in the Bitcoin price this Monday, as if you think there's not much to talk about today, that is when you have to pay attention. Let's dive straight into the analysis. First and foremost, the DXY right now has a bearish divergence. The DXY is drawing a bearish divergence on the one-day chart. Historically, this has signaled that we have neared a top. Just notice in the bottom, we have a bearish divergence. In 2016, the bearish divergence confirmed the top. And then in 2020, we also had a bearish divergence, which confirmed the top. And it's not just that. Look at this, snipers. Editors field stories. They think readers want to read. And what do they want to read about? Bear markets. Last week, there were over 8,200 articles printed about them, the second most of any week in a decade. And notice how anytime we've seen the articles about bear markets reach these type of levels, it has been either a bottom for the market or a place where the market has not formed any further lows. And so lastly, this is an opinion, not a fact. That's why I put it last, but it sure looks like a capitulation bottom on the weekly Bitcoin candle. 7 straight red weekly candles with a high volume dump at the end. Snipers, I'm just gonna keep it straight, just like I did yesterday. When Luna bottomed out at $0 and it lost all of its value, that was a reason for Bitcoin to come below 30,000 US dollars. It took all of that. It took a 40 to $50 billion project in the top 5 just for Bitcoin to come below 30,000 US dollars. And at the moment that it hit $0, Luna USDT, Bitcoin was around 28,300, and we've yet to test any levels below that. We took a long position for those that have been tuned into the Snipers channel at 28,300, and I'm going to stick with this fact and opinion of the fact that if Bitcoin does not come back below 28,300, I believe we have bottomed out already. I think that we saw max fear. We saw institutions and retail get wiped out. And so if it took that for Bitcoin to come to 28,300, we've yet to break any further lows. There is a very strong case to make that in a year from now, we could look back and say, man, remember that capitulation when Luna got wiped out to 0 and Bitcoin bottomed out? It came below 30,000. I actually tested 28,000, a little bit less than that as well. And we potentially had bottomed out there. After 7 straight weeks of red, we finally had an event for Bitcoin to come below 30,000. I stick with that opinion that we have potentially bottomed out, snipers. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let's quickly talk about markets here. Everything was pretty sideways today. S&P 500 sideways, DXY sideways. I'll talk about Bitcoin. So far, our thesis is that the moment that Luna decided its fate, this was when Bitcoin began to form these lows. Since then, we've only formed higher lows. As long as we don't come and test this level here, 28,300, I believe Bitcoin has bottomed out. We are flirting around the $30,000 level. The range that we're in, snipers, right now has a resistance of 35,000 that if we can get above, we will start to see volume and upside targets for Bitcoin. We have a support of 25,000 in the worst case scenario if anything does happen. If I am wrong, which I could be, and Bitcoin does come back down to test further lows, 25,000 is a major level of support. And with that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you snipers tuned into the channel. The Ethereum to Bitcoin chart looks very good. It came back inside of this symmetrical triangle. We know it came down because of what happened to Luna. It put a lot of fear into the altcoins. But now that that's out of the way, we can stop talking about it. The Ethereum to Bitcoin chart is actually showing some very nice strength coming back inside of the symmetrical triangle, holding 65,000 Satoshis. And with that being said, thank you all for tuning in once again. I appreciate each and every one of you. I do not see any other revolving parts that seem significant. And I'll end it with this. There are many altcoins right now that are already up over 50% from the recent lows. If that to you does not indicate that we have a potential short-term bottom, I don't know what you're waiting for. The bears were calling for 26K, and we got 26K. It took a $40 to $50 billion project to go to 0 for that to happen. Now the bears are calling for 22K. What are they going to just keep changing their targets? No, that's not how this works. We had 7 weeks of red. The DXY, bearish divergence. You might or may not be paying attention to the markets right now because of the 7 red weekly candles, but that is the time you do want to start paying attention to the markets. Do not lose your endurance. Keep your stamina. Stay sharp, snipers, each and every one of you. And I'll see you guys on the Discord. discord.gg/profits. I'm super excited. I've got my positions in Bitcoin at 28,300. I was waiting for Luna to hit zero. That to me was a major catalyst that we're going to look back on 10 years from now and say, man, remember that dump? Remember that bottom when Luna collapsed and Bitcoin came below 29,000 US dollars. And now Bitcoin's at 200,000 US dollars. Doesn't matter if it's at 26K, 22K, or 30K. When Bitcoin's at $200,000, you're not going to be thinking about those couple $1,000s. So anyways, love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Smash like button for the YouTube algorithm snipers if you support this content. I'm going to go enjoy my day because it's been a hell of a last 2 months. And I'm just glad that we played it strong and we entered into our low risk, long-term swing trade for Bitcoin at 28,300, and we entered into Ethereum around 1980. Ethereum is a little bit of a different story because if Bitcoin dominance starts moving up, Ethereum does have the potential of maybe testing lower levels if Bitcoin moves sideways, but Bitcoin is the big player here. That's the main one. That's where I have the majority of my position anyway. So with that, thank you all, and until next time, snipers out.